This is me 12 months ago, 163 pounds, training inconsistently, and frustrated by a lack of progress. Fast forward a year, and this is me now, weighing 147 pounds with more muscle, stronger than I've been in years, and over a year of being consistent with my home workouts. This isn't the end of my transformation or my physique goals, but a lot's been accomplished in a year. All from training at home with free weights, no gym, no special equipment. If you're wondering whether home training can really deliver body recomposition results, I'm going to show you that it can. Not with theory, but by breaking down the exact system that I used, the training approach, the nutrition strategy, and the tracking methods that made this all possible. I'm a dad with 2 kids under 5, working multiple jobs, and training in my apartment. If it worked in my chaos, it can work in yours. Let's get into it. I'll be honest, getting to 163 pounds, it wasn't dramatic, it was slow. A couple pounds here, a pound there over the years. Every now and again I'd look in the mirror and think I should do something about that one day. But I was busy, I was tired, and honestly, a little bit embarrassed that I let myself go, even though I was a personal trainer. The turning point wasn't reaching rock bottom. Waiting for the right time to get back in shape was the exact thing that I'd call out a client on if they said it to me. So I stopped waiting and started building a system that could work with my life. Before I break down the training, the nutrition, the tracking system, just a quick note. I put together a free 4-week program called Tired to Tone at Home. That gives you the exact framework I used to drop body fat, see more muscle definition by using progressive workouts, strategic nutrition, and progress tracking guidelines. The link is in the description if you want to grab it now, or stick around and I'll mention it again at the end. All right, back to the training. So some quick context. I'm a personal trainer. I've been one for 18 years, but for the past few years, I wasn't practicing what I preached. I got busy and tired after my first kid was born. I stopped training consistently and slowly put on 10 to 15 pounds. This transformation was about getting back to the basics and proving that this system works, even in a chaotic life, even with working out at home instead of the gym. The system has 3 parts: training, nutrition, and progress tracking. Let's talk about training first, because this is where many busy parents struggle with their home workouts. And it really comes down to 2 main problems. Problem number 1, the first problem, is inconsistency. You plan to wake up at 6 a.m., do your workout before the kids wake up, and you're still exhausted from the day before. You think, I'll just do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, same story. A week goes by and 0 workouts. Does that sound familiar? Problem number 2 is no progression. Even when you are consistent, you're doing the same workout week after week. Same exercises, same weight, same reps. Your body adapts in 2 to 3 weeks, and then nothing. Progress stalls, no more results. As a personal trainer, I always focused on progression with my home workouts. But inconsistency had been my biggest problem for years. So here's what changed everything for me. And it really came down to 2 principles. Principle number 1, consistency beats perfection. A shortened workout is infinitely better than no workout. It's not about doing the perfect 60-minute session, the perfect 60-minute workout every time. It's about showing up even when it's not perfect. The second principle was really leaning into progressive overload drives results. If you're not making your home workouts harder over time, more weight, more reps, more challenge, your body has no reason to change, nothing to adapt to. So progression is non-negotiable. So these 2 principles, consistency beats perfection, and really leaning into progressive overload driving results, that became my training foundation. Now let's look at how I implemented these 2 principles. For consistency, I created a 2-plan system, having Plan A workouts and having Plan B workouts. Plan A workouts were My regular workouts that I plan to do, 5 or 6 exercises long, about 45 minutes long. This is what I did when I had the time and energy. Plan B workouts, on the other hand, were shortened versions of the Plan A workouts. They were my minimal workouts, 2 to 3 exercises, which would take about 15, maybe 20 minutes. This is what I did when I was exhausted, when I was short on time, or more stressed. Now, the key here was that I pre-planned what exercises I was doing in my Plan B workouts. And it was one of two things. It was either the first 2 to 3 exercises in a given workout that was written down on my spreadsheet, or they were the 2 or 3 exercises that I wanted to do most in a given workout. So I gave myself the choice to choose between either of those. But it was pre-planned. I was doing one or the other. Either way, I was training instead of skipping a workout. How often did I use these Plan B workouts? Maybe once a month during those first 3 months of getting into my workouts. But here's what I noticed. When I started the Plan B workouts, I got into them. So after doing those 2 or 3 exercises, I kept going and would often do 4 or 5 exercises, almost a complete workout. Why? Because starting is the hard part. Once I was moving, momentum took over. For progressive overload, I used multiple progression methods. With limited free weights here at home, I relied more on adding reps every week to every exercise than adding weight. I also got creative with pushing progression beyond the first couple of months. So as an example, let's say I'm doing goblet squats with a 75-pound dumbbell. Week 1, I might do 3 sets of 10. Week 2, I'd aim for 3 sets of 12. And in that week, I might get 12 reps, I might get less than 12 reps, I might get more than 12 reps. But that was the target. And then week 3, I'd aim for 3 sets of 15. And week 4, I would aim for 3 sets of 15 and add a drop set to the last 2 sets of squats, right? Every week doing a little bit more, giving my body something to adapt to. See the pattern? I always found a way to make it harder. More reps, slower negatives, adding pauses, adding in drop sets or supersets. There's always a progression method available, even with limited equipment. And I tracked every single workout in Google Sheets. Every set, every rep, every exercise, every set, every rep, every weight. So when it was time to work out, I knew exactly what I needed to beat from last week. So here's what happened when I started doing these things. Consistency-wise, in my first 3 months, I did 47 of 48 planned workouts. Not because I felt motivated every day. I definitely wasn't. But because on the 2 or 3 days that I felt run down, I did my Plan B workout instead of skipping the workout entirely. And results from focusing even more on progressive overload, my strength went up in all exercises. Even 11, 12 months later, they're still going up. That's right, 12 months later, I'm still using the exact same system. Still doing Plan A workouts and the odd Plan B workout when needed, and still pushing for progressive overload every single workout that I do. Why? Because it works, it's sustainable, and it fits my actual life as a busy parent. This transformation didn't come from perfect workouts. It came from consistently executing a simple system. Now, progressive training creates the stimulus for change, but obviously without strategic nutrition, you won't see the body composition results that you want. So here's how I approached nutrition. Most people approach nutrition the way I used to. Eat clean and hope for the best. When I wanted to build muscle, I would just eat bigger portions. But without tracking, I was just guessing. And fat loss, honestly, it was always something I'd put off to another day. But without tracking, I was just guessing. And you don't need me to tell you, guessing does not deliver consistent results. The principle that changed everything was what gets measured gets managed. If you don't know your protein and calorie targets and whether you're hitting them or not, you're hoping, not executing a system. So when I started, I committed to 3 months of food tracking. I used Chronometer, a free app, but any free app like MyFitnessPal will do. And I logged everything I ate. Within 1 week, I saw where I was going wrong. Portion size is too big, especially at dinner, and not enough protein throughout the day. This clarity changed everything for me. I wasn't wondering, what should I change? I knew exactly what to adjust. Food tracking became my feedback loop, and results accelerated. So that's what I built the nutrition approach around. Food tracking, mostly eating the same foods, and adjusting the portion size depending on what phase I was in. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I want to implement this, but I need the complete system, the complete structure, that's exactly why I created my free 4-week program, Tired to Toned at Home. It includes the workout templates, the nutrition tracker, and progress tracking guidelines that worked for me. The link is in the description. Now let's talk about the third piece that ties the training and the nutrition together: progress tracking. Without it, you're flying blind. Here's the simple system I used. All right, you've got your training dialed in, progressive workouts with a plan for being consistent. You've got your nutrition sorted, tracking food to hit your calorie and protein targets. But here's where most people fall apart. They have no idea if it's actually working. They step on the scale maybe once a week, see a number they don't like, get discouraged, and then quit. Or they don't track at all. They just go by feel and hope that they're on the right track, making progress. Here's the problem with that. Your perception is terrible. You see yourself in the mirror every single day, but changes to your body, to your physique happen so slowly. Half a pound of fat lost here, a little bit of muscle built there, that you literally cannot see it in real time. Without tracking, it's easy to quit. With tracking, you can trust you're doing the right thing and keep going, even if there's a delay to seeing the progress that you want to see. So if training and nutrition are your inputs, progress tracking is your feedback loop. It's how you know those inputs are actually working. The principle I used here is the same one from getting nutrition on track. What gets measured gets managed. If you don't know your starting point, you can't see progress. If you're not tracking multiple data points, you can't see the full picture. And if you don't have objective data, then it's so easy to make emotional decisions that derail progress. Most people track one thing. They just track their body weight by stepping on a scale. And when it doesn't move the way they want, they panic and they change everything. That's a mistake. The right approach: track multiple metrics. Track them weekly so you can see the trends over time. Stepping on the scale is just one of those metrics, but it's not the whole story. Here's what I tracked and why each mattered. I tracked 3 things every week: scale weight, body part measurements, and I took progress photos. Let me show you why you need all 3. First, I did daily weigh-ins. I weighed myself every morning, same time, right after I woke up, after using the bathroom, before I ate or drank anything. I then logged it in Chronometer, the same app that I used for tracking my food. But here's the key. I didn't react to the daily fluctuations. Your weight can swing 2 to 4 pounds in a given day, based on water retention, sodium intake, what you ate the day before, how much you ate the day before, whether you had a hard workout, etc. That's normal. Instead, I looked at the weekly average. In my nutrition tracker, where I log my daily weigh-ins, it automatically tracks the weekly average of body weight across the daily weigh-ins. That's the number that matters because that's the trend. The second thing I measured was weekly body part measurements. There were 6 of them that I measured. I would do these measurements every Monday morning, and I measured 6 things: around the waist, at the belly button, around my shoulders, around my hips, around my chest, around my right upper arm when it was hanging down, and around my thigh. 6 measurements, takes about 3 minutes. Why? Because the scale doesn't tell you where you're losing body fat from, or it doesn't tell you where you're building muscle. And then the third thing I tracked, the third part of my progress tracking system, was taking weekly progress photos. Every Monday morning, same spot in my apartment, same lighting, facing a window, same pose. I did a front flex pose, a side pose, and a pose from the back. It took about 60 seconds to do. I didn't look at them weekly. That's too frequent, too short a time to see changes. But every 2 to 4 weeks or month after month, I could go back and compare progress photos. And that's when you can actually see visual changes. Progress photos were my reality check. When I felt like nothing was happening, I'd look at week 1 versus week 12, and the change was undeniable. I logged everything in my nutrition tracker, daily weight, weekly average, body part measurements every week. And then the progress photos, I would just upload them onto my computer and just put them on Google Drive. That's it. No fancy app required, just consistent tracking. At the start of each muscle building phase, I'd feel stuck. There would always be a delay from slowly increasing calories to seeing my body weight start to go up. I'd look in the mirror and saw the same body, not gaining muscle yet. So naturally, I felt discouraged. But my data from tracking showed that I was on track, that I was on point with my calories and my protein every day, and that my strength was up on most of my exercises, every workout, every week. I wasn't actually stuck. I was hitting the right target to make progress. My coach reminded me that these delays that seem like plateaus, that they're normal. Tracking showed me that I was actually on track and to keep going when my perception would have probably made me quit. I also got proof of progress. This is incredibly motivating when you know progress is happening. And when I looked at my week 1 photo and my week 12 photo, my week 24 photo, my week 52 photo after 1 year, the change was undeniable. The visual proof reinforced that the system was working. So it gave me more and more confidence to keep going. Tracking isn't optional. It's the thread that ties training and nutrition together. It's how you know when you're on the right path, even when your brain is trying to trick you or lie to you. So that's a complete system. Progressive training for my home workouts with the Plan A workouts and Plan B workouts. Strategic nutrition through food tracking. Progress tracking across multiple metrics that help you know you're on the right path. 3 pillars all working together. Training creates the stimulus, nutrition provides the fuel, and progress tracking gives you the feedback. Now let me show you how this looked month by month. I want to be clear about the timeline of my progress because progress isn't linear, and that's actually by design. So in months 1 to 3, I was in a fat loss phase. I lost 19 pounds, my waist was down 4 inches. I was in a calorie deficit, focusing on dropping body fat that I had accumulated. And then months 4 to 7, I switched into a muscle building phase. I gained 7.5 pounds, but my waist only increased 1.5 centimeters during this time. And my strength jumped up on all of my exercises. By the end of this phase, I was eating almost 2,000 calories more than I was at the end of my fat loss phase, and 300 calories less than that on my non-workout days. Building muscle and strength. Fast forward to months 8 and 9, I did a short 6 weeks fat loss phase just to tidy things up. And in that phase, I lost another 11 pounds, waist down just under 2 inches. It was going back to a deficit to reveal the muscle that I built in the muscle building phase. And then months 9 to 12, we were back into building muscle, a muscle building phase. And so far in that, I've gained 7 pounds, and my waist during that time has increased about 1.5 inches, while still my strength is going up on my exercises in my workouts. And this time calories are about 1,000 calories higher on workout days than they were at the end of the fat loss phase that just ended in month 9, right? And that's led to building muscle and increasing strength during this phase, right? And here's the overall progress going through 2 fat loss phases and 2 muscle gain phases. Here's the visual and the data. Overall, 15 pounds lost, significantly stronger, and muscle has been added, and muscle definition is showing more. This is what body recomposition actually looks like. Not a 12-week shred, but strategic phases that build on one another. I'll add this. At the end of month 4, I also hired a coach. Why? Because even as a trainer myself, I wanted that external accountability and a second set of eyes on the program and my progress. And here's what I learned. Having someone review my training logs, look over my nutrition, my food tracking, and my progress updates every single week, it kept me honest and it kept me on track. And there were times when my coach could see patterns that I couldn't because I was too close to it. And it gave me the perspective to keep going with the plan. Did I need a coach to get results? No. This system works without one. But did coaching accelerate my progress and keep me accountable? 100%. So here's a complete system. Progressive home workouts with free weights with a minimal workout backup plan. Strategic nutrition through food tracking, daily weigh-ins, and weekly body part measurements and progress photos. And 4 phases over these 12 months. Fat loss, muscle gain, fat loss, muscle gain. This worked for me as a busy dad training at home with free weights. If you have 30 to 45 minutes to work out 3 to 4 times a week, and you're willing to track your food and your progress, then this system can work for you. If you want the exact system, the complete 4-week program with progressive home workouts, a nutrition strategy built around getting results and seeing progress, and the progress tracking guidelines that I use for myself and with paying clients, download my free 4-week program, Tired to Toned at Home. The link is in the description below. It's everything you need to get started with this system today. And if this video helped you, do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who need it. Drop me a comment and let me know. Are you in a muscle building phase? Are you in a fat loss phase? Or are you just trying to find out where to start? I read every comment. And if you want more personalized help, someone to create your program, someone to create your progressive home workouts, review your progress and troubleshoot obstacles, and keep you accountable like my coach did for me, I work with clients one-on-one online. Details are in the description. Now, today we covered the whole system. If you're fairly confident you can get your home workouts on point, but the missing piece is executing on nutrition, especially incorporating food tracking into your life consistently so you can see the progress I talked about in this video, then watch this next video where I do a deep dive how I started food tracking and what I learned along the way so you can learn from my mistakes while also making consistent, predictable progress towards your fat loss or muscle gain goal. Thanks for watching. Now you have everything you need. Now go execute.